gift, show you how to monetize that gift. So I was really excited to share one of my presentations regarding money. And one of my brand, which you'll see as my branding on my page and everything else that I'm doing, is Unbound. So during the event, I had the pleasure to share a presentation called Unbound Your Money Story. And that is really talking about building a new relationship with your money in order to experience freedom on a new level in your life and in your business. So we talked about some concepts and some things that are hindering those of us who struggle in the area of money, and especially being entrepreneurs. One of the things I talked about was how to build a new relationship with money, and actually going into detail about how to have a conversation with your money and learning the roles that you play and the role that money plays in your life. So we had a dynamic time. A lot of women were, just excited, just full, just learning something new about money that you did not know. And it really just came from my own personal experience. And a lot of times, most of the things that are what I call my Achilles heel was in the area of financing, due to just a dark moment, period of time in my life where I had to just kind of rebuild. So during that time, that's when I learned about how to rebuild and repair a relationship with money. And I started to sit down, and when I started the presentation, I actually just wrote a letter, and it was a letter of, it was a message for me, actually, from my money. And I shared that towards the end of the presentation during the Tea and Pearls Sister Gathering. And it was really, really a success, because a lot of women just said, wow, it just kind of a light bulb went off. And that was my, that was the plan. I wanted you to hear something totally different and dynamic that you've never heard about money. It has nothing to do with saving and budgeting, but it's about starting from the very beginning. And that's what I have incorporated in my business. And when I'm working with women, is one of the things I hear the most is just having this block and this issue around money. And so it just kind of took off because I had to learn myself. And now I'm able to kind of just teach women how to walk in that road. And what happens is, when you find out, learning about money and how money is very spiritual, once I've gone through it, now I become a lighthouse. So when I become a lighthouse, I now have the keys to help other women just walk through that door. And it's not limited to women. As I went through this process, it is a universal message because it's something that we all experience. And I just thought that just introducing that piece of unbounding our money was a dynamic, addition to what you put together with the Tea and Pearl Sister Gathering and, our Power Sister Circle.
And that was awesome. So, Valerie, I'm going to unmute you. And before I let you introduce yourself, sir, I want to go on that conversation with Kim. When Kim did her presentation on money, what did you think about that?
I was blown away. First of all, she shared her own personal testimony. She was very transparent about finances. And I find that anytime the speaker or whoever the person is that is commanding the space, when they are open and transparent, that seems to have a different take with the audience, because then you can relate, because they are being transparent about something that they have personally dealt with. And she was very, very transparent about the challenges that she had financially. But when she completed the course, I was wow. I was wow. And not only was I wow, but the evidence of a lot of things that occurred in that alabaster box has began to manifest. And I'm still wowing. I'm literally still wowing. Yeah. She had a phenomenal presentation, Andre.
And so, Katrina, I'm going to let Valerie and you guys introduce yourself in a little bit, but Kim just told a little bit about her speak when she was talking about money. So I just want to get your point on that. What did you think about Kim Kim's speech when she talked about how to look at money a little bit different?
Life-changing. She was just amazing, life-changing. I thought, wow, I never looked at money like that. Having a relationship with our money, and just the way she talked, it made me sit there and think, wow, have I been doing this for years with my money? I wasn't doing this, but I never had a relationship with my money. I never thought we could have a relationship with our money. So she put some new ideas and she impacted me with that. And I took that with me when I left. I took it when I went home. I talked about it with people and I said, girl, y'all need to meet this girl named so-and-so and so. Kim, I said, she is amazing. She just shut the whole room down and we were clapping and saying, yes, yes. And I think when somebody can inspire you like that, that is beautiful. I think you floored the room, and all of the speakers really floored the room. But it was amazing to learn how we need to interact with our money. And I appreciate that, Kim. That was awesome. And I'm still thinking about it today and feeling the little shiver in my body like, woo, your money's going to do something for you with that relationship.
That's right.
I said,
Oh, no, I've been watching you, Katrina, and I think your money turning over and doing a few things after that.
okay, I do. I really think so. And I thank Kim and most of all, Andrea, you know, I love you to death. But I tell you, this whole conference has changed my life. And I think I have blossomed in a whole different way. Just being an ambassador and being there, oh my God. I think God just has renewed my mindset and changed me over. I feel so differently now. You ladies just don't know how y'all impacted me. I feel great about myself and what I'm doing. I thank y'all.
And so for those of you who don't know and not sure, because I didn't do any introduction before, I really wanted to go in and talk about that impact so that you can understand where we're going today. As many of you may know, my name is Andrea Merriman. I am your creative harmony coach. I'm the founder of Feminine Life Rebuilders, which was the host of this 10 Pearl Sister Gathering. And the purpose of it was to take my sisters, my power sisters, my circle of sisters that are boots on the ground working in the domestic violence field or working to empower other sisters, put them together and just have a healing weekend so that we can continue to do the work that we do. Because I couldn't do what I do without all the healing I've been through for the years. And it's been really awesome for us to join together and do this. So what I want you to do, and the reason I let Kim go first, is I want you guys to understand that that whole weekend and everybody, and if you saw the first part before the computer messed up, Tanika was talking about how the speakers were treated like they were queens. The speakers were treated in a manner that allowed them to bring their best to the platform when they stood there. And I wanted to come to you and let you know I could not have done this without my ambassadors. And two of them are here. And that's Valerie and Katrina. And I'm going to let them talk to you about themselves, but I wanted to make a special thank you to them for the work that they did that weekend. They went over above. Awesome. And Valerie, I'm going to let you tell about yourself and who you are, but I want to thank you for stepping up, leaning in, and being that power sister that you were on that Friday when you just jumped in and emceed the whole day. That's right. I have had people in my inbox talking about how wonderful you were, how pleasant you were, how you made them feel wonderful by the way that you introduced them, and that you were so loving as you did your things. And I wanted to thank you for that because you did step up and showed out. So Valerie, I know that you're a giving person. I know that you give from the heart and you're loving. But tell us what you're doing and where you are right now.
But first, I'd like to say thank you so much, Queen Andrea, for being the individual that has built such a phenomenal vision to bring and to bring individuals together and to start the healing process. I want to salute you because that is a big step. I am Valerie Simon. I do live here in the Gastonia area, and currently I am working on a couple of projects. I'm going to be business owner. I will be announcing that very soon. In about 2 to 3 weeks, I will be opening up my first business here in this area. I am also a purpose coach, a certified purpose coach, and what I do is I help people identify what their purpose is so that they will not go to their grave taking their purpose there, because the graveyard is one of the wealthiest places on earth, because many have died with their dreams, their purpose, and their aspirations taken with them. So not only do I help you identify your purpose, I also coach you to maximizing and optimizing your purpose. What good is your purpose if it's sitting on a shelf? It's not doing you any good. It's definitely not doing Heavenly Father any good, and it's not doing the community any good. An advocate, a prison mom, a domestic violence survivor, and a mental health advocate. Soon to be published author. As Queen Andrea said, I am one that loves to serve, and I love people. I give love because that's what I want to embrace. And what I have found in my healing time is whatever you desire, that's what you become. So if you desire love, you become love. So it's an honor for me to hear, Queen Andrea, that others felt love. Because like I said to you, we were definitely in an alabaster box, to the point I had to go and look and see what the definition of alabaster box is. In the alabaster, it's translucent, which means it's lit from within. You know, places that was there. We have a light down on the inside that is lit, and we get a different match on that weekend. There was a certain type of match that was struck, and each one of us was relit. So if you were dim, there's no way, if you were in that alabaster box, that you're still dim. And if you are still dim, that means you need to come back and get some more healing. And as we were taught on that weekend, we have to participate in our healing. We cannot always look for someone to heal us. So healing is a process, and it will not progress if you don't participate in the process. So I'm just blessed to have been a part of it. I'm blessed that Queen Andrea reached out to me and wanted me to be one of her ambassadors. That is my strength. I believe in serving others. I believe in making people feel comfortable. And one thing I do represent is agape love. So I thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of it.
Well, again, thank you so much for all that you did for us that weekend. With everything going on, I don't know how I would have made it without you guys. And the work that you're doing to eradicate domestic violence, bring change, you know, and that's one of the things that you and I talked about. You're not just creating awareness, you're bringing change in the things that they're doing in, you know, on a level of, hold on just a second, on the level of our people and, you know, legislature, so that everyone is affected. And that takes a whole lot. It's not something that I'm good at, because you got to know what you're talking about. You can't say, you know, this is something I want to change and not have an effect on you, because you got to know what you're talking about. And so I commend you for that. And like you said, when we need some change, we're going to call you, because we don't want to have to read the whole bill. and Katrina, again, you were awesome.
Thank you.
And I know, you know, you have volunteered even before then. Even when we got our screws crossed, I thought you wasn't coming. I was like, Katrina's not coming. But And then you showed up, you were there, you kept things organized, you were moving
Yes,
back
ma'am.
and forth, you were making sure the speakers had the things that they needed.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
even with all the things that you had going on that weekend, you never stopped and said, hey, I've got something going on, I can't help you.
Exactly.
And that speaks so much of your character
Thank you.
and who you are, and I want to thank you for that. So,
You're welcome.
and for those of you who got emails and wondering about them and still not sure why Valerie keeps talking about that daggone alabaster box, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And so, Katrina, tell us who you are, what you're doing, and tell us what you've been doing while you were in Texas and what
Oh,
plans you
yes.
have going on.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. I'm Katrina Thomas. My organization is Loving Yourself No More Abuse. This event was so amazing. I just get so overwhelmed when I'm talking about it because from Valerie to Andrea to so many of the speakers, Tanika, Tika, Melissa, so many, they brought so much empowerment out for women and men. And then just to hear the men talk, oh my God, I was so overempowered. And you guys, what you don't really know about me, I was so shy. But when I tell you, I stepped out my box and like she said, something happened while I was there and I pulled myself together. But you know what I want to thank you guys for being by my side at that emotional moment that something happened to me. And you guys pulled me back together and I learned that I had to pull myself together because I was there to support my sister Andrea, and that was important. And I wasn't going to let my situation overtake her moment of doing something blessing to all of us. So that was something that I learned. And from this whole situation, I went home and I said, boy, I'm about to do some things. You know, I did training, if you guys don't know, with my sis over here, Andrea Merriman. And then I did training somewhere else with Kawana Finch. And I got my purpose coach license. But guess what? You guys, it doesn't stop there because God placed me in a mindset of saying you can go higher into the next level with whatever you need to do, Katrina. So God put this on me to bring it out to Waco, Texas with my VP, which is Mary Bell. Nobody met her yet. But when I tell you, we got here, ladies, and we did rainbow and tea, something like yours, where we did the tables. I don't know if you guys been on my page to
Those
see.
tables were awesome.
They were awesome. And I'm telling you, everybody came together. It was men, women, children. When I tell you, God and the Spirit has followed me from North Carolina to all around. So now I have Loving Yourself No More Abuse in Waco, Texas. What you think you can't do, God has always made possibilities. And that's what I'm learning. There is possibilities. There's nothing that you should say you can't do because with God, all things are possible. And then yesterday we went into the community in Waco, Texas, and we gave out plates for Resurrection Day. We made people smile. We had people come to us asking us about resources and about how we could get them help. We met a lady who just came out of an abusive relationship. When I tell you, we prayed for her and she was so grateful. So many of these men and women were grateful. And I tell you, that makes my heart feel good because I'm about love and compassion. I don't judge on anybody and I don't hate on anybody because if you're doing good, I'm going to congratulate you like I did for Andrea. Anybody. We need to lift one another, and that's what it's about because God is about love, and that's what we're supposed to supply to each other and anybody else. So I think I'm just leveling up and I'm doing it little by little. I'm not rushing. I also am going to still continue to get more education and knowledge as I go up this ladder because you know what? You never can learn too much. And I learned from all of you ladies as well. So this is a learning process. This is a process of growing in my faith and my vision. And I love all of y'all for putting in on what Katrina is doing now today.
Well, I love you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been watching, and Katrina, those tables were marvelous. Those were cute.
Thank you.
So for those of you, again, who may be just joining us and trying to figure out what we're doing, you know, March weekend, 8th through the 10th, we had our third annual event, my third annual event, and this year was our Tea and Pearl Sister Gathering. And we came together and we spoke about so many things that would bring about healing for those with boots on the ground, working with other women, whether it was eradicating domestic violence, whether it's creating awareness, as we said, political piece of it. And not only that, we had therapists and we had so many people there. And what I'm hearing from you ladies, and what I think is so awesome, is have you ever gone to an event and when you left, you had notes and notes and notes, and you're trying to decipher where you're going to do with those notes because everybody gave you a little bit of piece of something? What I wanted was for you to be able to leave the 1st of March event and come into the realization of where you can go with your next. Not where I want you to go, but what you can do next. And it sounds like you ladies are pushing forward with that you took something away that you could immediately use and help you get to your next. So as we go into that, a little bit about alabaster, and that's one of the things Valerie says she looked it up. So for those of you who have not studied and talk about it, when you think about alabaster in itself, it's something that's soft, it's moldable, it's pure, it's something that can contain things. If you are a religious person, you've read about the alabaster jar that had the essential oils that were used. You read about the lady with the box and what they did, and they had their pure oils, and that's how they carried their valuable things in the alabaster, because it was able to hold it and it was able to allow it to be its purest self. And as I was creating the event and the markup of the event, that's one of the things that had come to me about an alabaster box. And I wasn't sure where I was going to go with it. I'd even thought of maybe I need to purchase one and put some oils in it and so many things. And I told this story about understanding and the vision of the alabaster box and the colors, because if you look up alabaster, it's like a brown with brown going through, and you look at it and it's just a pretty smooth something. So I couldn't figure out where it was that went into it. But as we went through the weekend and we received the purest form of ourselves, and we received the essence of what we needed to take ourselves to our next spot, that second day, hold on just a moment. So as we got into that next moment and we started to talk about that next day, Valerie came to me and she said, I've got something. And she said it came to her. She said, this room with all the information we're receiving, we are in an alabaster box, because we were in a nice, cute little cubby hole. And we ended up being in, it was supposed to switch rooms each day. We ended up being in that room the whole time, and it was our room. Everyone was at a place that we had just enough people for that room to be comfortable. And it seemed like everything we did in that room was made for that moment. Would y'all agree with that?
Yes.
And so, and to just continue to talk about that, it's like that was just the place for us to get our purest form of who we were. And so we've carried that with us and looking at that when we get to our next spot. So think about that as we continue to go on that, just being in a box of pure essence and a pure message for what you need for your moment right then. You know, whether we talked about the piece of people pleasing, and the ladies were given, I wanted, so I'm going to start over with that. And I get excited when I get started to think about it because, you know, I'm in the anthology of Diary of a People Pleaser, which was compiled by Cheryl Peavy. If you don't have the book, I suggest you go out and get it. If you're one of those persons that spend more time pleasing other people, there's a difference between pleasing a person and being able to serve as a servant leader. And sometimes we forget, hey, John, sometimes we forget the difference between pleasing everybody but ourselves and being that servant leader. And so the awesome piece about that, I had ladies that were, it was 15 of us. Some of the ladies were there from that book, and they donated enough books that everyone at the event received a copy of Diary of a People Pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
That's how excited we were and how we wanted to help people, that we wanted you to go. And it would have been just as easy to ask them to donate it to to Feminine Life Rebuilders and sell that book to you guys. But that's not where we wanted to go with that. We wanted to make sure that you had that information to understand that there's a difference between people pleasing and serving. So one of the things that, one of the other pieces of it is, I have, as I work through this with all my speakers, and one of the things, Dorothea is here with us. She was supposed to be there with us. She had some issues to come up where she couldn't, but all during my planning piece of it, all during getting ready to have it done, Dorothea was there. Dorothea, I'm going to take you off mute. Don't be thinking you're going to just sit there and hang out, because you know that don't happen. So how are you doing this evening? Can't hear you. No. Did it mess up because I took you off mute? I'm going to mute.
Can you hear me?
Now. Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay. So, 1, thank you for the invite. 2, nice meeting you all. 3, yes, so super. I was ready to go, bags at the door, and I had been dealing with something that I had shared with Andrea. Did not think that it would lead me to having to make a decision about staying and or leaving. So because I was the emergency contact for a client who was in a coma, and doctors calling and texting and calling, I was having to make life decisions for someone who couldn't speak for themselves, who had 3 children. And it was just an ordeal. Didn't want to go through, don't want to go through again, but it had me think about some things to protect myself and other advocates. So I had to make the decision about whether or not to take this person off of life support, what to do with the children. I mean, it was just absolutely involved. And I did not know that I was the emergency advocate. I'm an emergency contact. She didn't have anybody else, but it was me. So through that process, I was learning a little bit about myself in regard to just stepping in and going in go mode, although there was a commitment or an obligation that I knew that I had to take care of. And so I had this weight of, do I go, do I stay, do I, I have to attend to this young girl's needs. So I saw the different, it wasn't a conference, it was more than a conference. And I got that vibe just from the little bit of what it is that I saw from the live streams. You know that we go to these, the domestic violence conferences, and it's all basically the same type of thing. We all hear the stories. We get soaked into somebody else's story, which is good. It's okay if it has purpose. But oftentimes I find that people leave not feeling and or knowing anything different than, oh my gosh, DV, it's story, it's negative feeling. You know what I'm saying? This Tea and Pearls, and I don't want to call it a conference because that's not what it was.
It was a gathering.
For the first time, it was a gathering, but it was a sisterly gathering. Not sisterly in the fact that we all have DV stories or we all work in DV stories. It was more than that. It uplifted, motivated in the places and areas that needed it to be to go to a next level. Most often when and again, no pun intended, no tea, no shade against anybody's, get anybody else's conference or workshop, in order to get people to be aware, to there's a call to action. Not saying that that's wrong, it has its place. But for me, and I know Andrea, and now that I know you all, and I don't know you all, but the fact that you participated in such a way to move somebody to their next level, that they can grab hold and that they can say, wow, they did it, I can too. Not in the same way. Everybody's different. I always say that, people will say often, if I can do it, you can do it. No, I never say that. Why? Because everybody's ability is different. Everybody's place is different. There's never going to be the same. But this this gathering was that here is a story, here are stories. This is what I've done or where I've gone. But guess what? We're going to be active. We're going to be proactive. We're going to actually do something. And the gathering moved people to a different level, actually doing something. I caught that little bit. And because I know Andrea, I know that that's what people gravitated to. So I'm super excited about this because I too have this desire. Okay, yes, you had this bad thing happen to you. Yes, you've been traumatized. I get it. I understand that. So where is the mindset shift? You got to say that real careful because sometimes. Where is the mindset shift? Everybody's going to shift to a new level, a different level, but we all need to be making a shift.
Yeah, that's true.
Proactive in the way of getting people to actually think. Because most conferences like this or DV, you don't go away thinking only that, wow, I'm not the only one. And that's fine. But when is it going to be that there is life after? There is movement after. There's greater than after. And this gathering supplied the how-to. You know what I'm saying? Supplied the how-to. This is how you move. This is how you grow. This is how you get to go to most places, most conferences such as this. It doesn't do that. And again, no tea, no shade about, because you got to start somewhere. Somebody's got to own up and say, yeah, this has happened to me. But for the first time for me that I've ever been or witnessed the how-to move. And as advocates, this gathering supplied an aha, restful place, a venting place, a comfortable place, for advocates to be, because we don't have that either.
You know, and that's the big thing too. And, you know, because that was the good thing to see. I know I was the host, but because of people like Valerie and Katrina, there were certain things that I didn't have to do. So I was able to sit there and watch and see. And I saw the advocates, the ladies with boots on the ground, the ladies that are out there making a difference, be able to say, hey, this is a place for me. And that's what I thought was awesome with what I saw.
Wait a minute, I got to interject, because I'll never see a conference or a gathering where people who have been through hell up dancing at, you know, dancing going on. I was like, that's it, get them. I loved it.
So that was fun. I hadn't thought about that one. That was good.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining in. Come on off mute, girl.
Hi, guys. It is so great to see you all. Katrina, girl, you the bomb. I heard you when I came on. I heard you. And Andrea, Valerie, mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you, beautiful lady. Dorothy, it's so nice to meet you online. I'm excited to be here. And I love Andrea. She is a wealth of knowledge and resource. She is a brilliant mind. And I was honored to be at the conference. And you're right, Dorothy, what happened at that conference? There was a thread that connected every speaker. Right, Valerie? There was this thread. And I'm telling you, I got there later in the day, but the speakers before me touched on almost the same exact topic I touched on. And then what happened on Friday, and then what happened on Saturday when the man spoke and tied it all together, I had a conniption. I was bawling like a baby. I was like, no, what did he just do? That's exactly what we said. And then that's exactly what the other person said. And this amazing alabaster box moment just became so real. And everybody, almost 90% of the people in that room are survivors, including myself. But it was not a downbeaten, feeling like you're still a victim kind of thing. It was an uplifting experience. And what Andrea presented, as a matter of fact, for her the trainer in terms of where advocacy is concerned, was brilliant. And so I couldn't go on day 3 because I went out of the state, but man, I enjoyed and just really walked away with a lot of things, just clarity, and it was awesome.
So thank you for that. And I'm gonna have to send all of y'all a check for all these wonderful things. But seriously, on that piece, and like I said, I couldn't have put it together any better with the ladies that were there. And as you said, the whole piece of it was to take people that have been there, who are doing something different, and to help everyone else. Because what I'm hearing is even the speakers were there to speak, but they pulled something from the other person and were able to say, hey, let me do something different with this. Like we talked about Kim and her money speak Friday, and everybody looking in their pocketbook a little bit different. Between her money and LaVon having us throw money out in the trash, we're bound to change some things that we're doing with our money. So Joan, one of the things that we've all been doing before you come in is just to tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing in this arena.
Absolutely. I'm Joan T. Randall. I am an award-winning 4-time author. I am a international speaker, and I am a transformational coach. I'm a domestic violence survivor. And I could go back to what Dorothy said earlier, that I've gone to a lot of domestic violence workshops, not so much conferences, but workshops, and walk away with a sense of just defeat, because all that was mentioned was what people went through, but there was no, here is what you can do. So the audience left feeling just as bad when they came, because somebody's story was worse than theirs. And so when I started doing my own workshops, I call it Thrivers Talk and Tea. And the reason why I did that was because I wanted not only domestic violence survivors there, but I wanted people who were empathetic to the cause to be there as well. And for us, it was just a gathering, just like what Andrea said, a gathering of people who have survived. But how can we stand on our story and use our story as our purpose? So for me, I looked at it in a totally different way. And I created this journal. Well, it's not a journal. It's called Loving Me from A to Z. And it's a book of affirmations of every letter of the alphabet. And what I did at the end of my workshops, instead of having it feeling as if there is this heaviness, I turned the tables and I talk about how you can stand on your story and use your story for your glory. How you can stand on the pain and use the pain for the purpose. How you can stand on the storm and use the storm to go through the storm and come out on the other side with the rainbow. And then at the end, we would recite from A through Z of the affirmations. And so I started looking at advocacy as a box. And don't get me wrong about this. Once you start speaking about domestic violence advocacy, you place yourself in a box, right? And the box is, I can't invite Joan to speak at my conference because it's not a conference on domestic violence. Well, Joan doesn't only speak about domestic violence, right? Joan is an advocate, but Joan is a speaker. So I had to figure out, how do I take myself out of that box? I don't want anybody box me in, because when I was in domestic violence, I was in a box. I ain't in no box no more. I'm on the outside of the box. So don't be boxing me into this narrow world, because we all go through, and there might be a person in the room that has never been beaten, that has never gone through domestic violence, but has gone through something, lost a child, lost a husband. That is still trauma. Yeah. And I can affect them because of my journey. So I don't want to be placed in a box. So that's why, for the most part, I don't call myself a domestic violence advocate. I call myself an advocate. Period. I'm an advocate for people that have gone through traumatic circumstances to help them get out of it. I impact lives to change outcomes. And so I had to change the way I spoke about myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It really does. Did you see everybody over here going, yeah, tell them, Joan, get them, Joan?
I didn't want to be rude and just leave, because I wanted to run around the room. Oh my goodness, yeah.
And as you guys are listening to what these ladies are saying, you can see the uniqueness of what everybody has. And so that's why it was so powerful to help our speakers and help you ladies to be able to, as the attendees came in, to stand on their own uniqueness. We often talk about being unapologetically transparent and we're not apologizing for anything, but the real thing was to be able to grab hold of what your uniqueness is and let somebody there take you to it. And not the stereotypes of, like you said, we're all domestic violence advocates, but we're speakers who advocate for eradicating domestic violence. We're not domestic violence speakers.
Yeah.
And that was one of the big things that we talked about, is advocating. What are you advocating for? You may not be an advocate for domestic violence. Your niche may be advocating for ladies who've been through sexual assault. And one of the posts I had the other day, it was ladies that were advocating for their children, or people that are either mentally or physically disabled, or have chromosome deficiency, that they need to advocate for that person so they can. The whole idea is an advocate, a servant leader, a minister, whatever it is that you're serving someone else and letting their voice be spoken when they're voiceless. That's who we were intending to come there, so that as you speak for the voiceless, your voice doesn't quiver, because you're feeling good with who you are. When you're feeling good with who you are, understanding who you are. And as I was speaking the other day, I told some young kids, I said, you need to know who you are, whose you are, and people often forget you need to know who he is. Because if you don't understand that, it doesn't matter whose you are. Because if you're not increasing your spiritual growth, whatever that looks like for you, if you're not trying to get to, into the next space, then it doesn't matter who you are or whose you are, because you still don't understand the full purpose and the full piece of where you're going. So one of the things that I brought out and I'm sharing with everyone is my next is going to be an extreme push toward those advocates. Yes, I understand that there's ladies out there that are domestic violence victims that need to be helped, and I understand that. But my push is to help those that are doing that. I want to help you to be your best, as we spoke before, so that when, like Dorothea, you get that call and someone's needing an exit strategy tonight, that Dorothea is performing at her best, because she's taken those roles and she's worked on herself so that she's not torn down when she's working with victims. And so one of the things I wanted to bring to your attention tonight is next Monday night, 8:30. This will not be on Facebook Live, so you're going to have to sign up. I will be working with those advocates, those servant leaders, those ministers, those people that are those people, the ladies that are out there doing the work, boots on the ground, looking to make a change, but you need someone to support you. As you can see, my Power Sisters are powerful. These ladies are going to be in it. They're going to be around for you. They're going to be able to help you with your money. They're going to help you with your politics. They're going to help you with your affirmations. They're going to help you understand the strategies that you need. And we're going to be working together next Monday night. And I've already been fussed at by several people, but we'll be having a free 2-hour webinar on advocate skills. And so I need you to go in. I need you to register, because it will not be on Facebook Live. Because I'm only looking for the people that are looking to make a change, not talking about making a change, not wishing they could make a change, but you're ready for your next. You're ready for that moment where you can say, hey, I have these skills. I understand where I am. I've taken my passion. I'm turning it into my purpose. I understand the clarity of where I want to go. But I need to make sure that I have the skills to take care of me and that I'm advocating in the right way. Because a lot of times people forget as they're doing this and they get in it so much that advocating is not telling someone what they need to do. It's listening to what they want and giving them options to where they want to go. So often I see it on Facebook, see it in person, that when someone is giving advice, they're giving their advice. They're telling them, this is how I got past it. This is what I do. it would work if you did it. That's not advocating. And I need you to understand that. So those skills will be discussed. So if you will go to bit.ly/advocate skills and register, only if you register, only if you sign up, seating is limited. I guarantee you, you will not get a free 2-hour webinar on this capacity with these skills that you're going to receive together for that. bit.ly/advocate skills and register for the free webinar. And so you can understand what it means to truly be an advocate. We're going to have some more nuggets and things that's going to be there. I'm going to have some more things to offer you at that time, deals for people who show up. Like I said, I'm looking for the advocates, the people that are working, that are looking for that support. So many times when we start this journey, especially those that have been through a traumatic experience and we're wanting to change our life to do something different, so many times we're sitting in front of our in front of our computers, and we're our LLC, and we're saying we're CEO, and the O stands for only. And we need that support, and we need somebody helping us to understand where to go next. And you will get some of that information next Monday. And so I just wanted to throw that out. If you know some friends that may need it, share this with them, have them register, because we're going to have a good time. It's going to be interactive. It's not going to be just you talking to me, because you don't learn a whole lot just listening to me talk. So it's going to be some what you need. And so just make sure you register for that. Seating is limited. I'll post a link in the comment section. So as we wrap this up, ladies, take yourself off of mute, so y'all can make all kind of noise and stuff. So, so ladies, again, I want to tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you in my life and what you've done and the capacity you've served. And so what I want to let you know, one of the things that has, two things that I want to mention to people that came out of this year's gathering. One, I was in awe when I stood in front of everyone and I'm talking and they raised their hand and say, hold on. Said we all filled out information list sheets with our email address and contact information. Can you share that with everybody in the room? And they're like, huh? I said the idea that the bond was built with not only the speakers but the attendees, that everybody said, can you share all of our information? And I told people that they had, if you don't want yours shared, tell me in your inbox. You know, you don't have to say it out loud because everybody is saying it, but everybody said yes to me. I want to be connected with this person and that person. And I think that was an awesome show of the bond that was built that weekend. The other thing that has come about that, and you'll be seeing there's an ebook that's going to be coming out really soon. We are now taking Tea and Pearls on tour.
Yes,
and
awesome.
So if you attended this year's event or last year's event, and you're wanting to bring it to your area, get in touch with me, because now I'm asking people to do Tea and Pearl minis. The minis are going to be that you just have people in your living room or your kitchen table, 6 to 8 friends, and you guys will be able to get a Tea and Pearl kit that has information on how to do that, because what happened Sunday was our focus groups. And we came up with some information and some things people wanted to do to make an impact. So we're having, the second piece is you're able to do a Tea and Pearl boutique event, a boutique gathering, and that's a day and a half. So you will get that effect. So I want to put that out there. This at the first time. What do you ladies think about that?
I think that's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yes. I'm ready for that. I'm ready. I'm ready.
This is,
Yes,
this is,
I'm
this
so
is all-
Yes.
Listen, you don't
action.
even know why I'm so excited.
This is a different way of call to action.
Listen.
Literally, you looked, you listened, you watched at your gathering, and then you saw a need, and you're doing it. And you're doing it in such a way that people are going to gravitate to.
That's right.
And walk out empowered to continue the ripple effect, to do something in a different and a unique way. This is awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I see it already.
So if anybody out there is listening, anyone can do a mini. The minis you'll have to have the kit that I'll have available soon.
Okay.
But to do a boutique event, you have to have attended one of the 3-day intensives, because if you have not attended an intensive, the 3-day healing intensive, you do not understand the full impact of what needs to happen in a day and a half.
Okay.
Would you guys agree?
I agree.
Totally.
So, but if you're someone who would like to have that in your area, let me know. Inbox me, get in touch with me. So that's the second thing I wanted to share, and I wanted to let everybody know. So I want everybody to be planning their tea and pearls. I already have one planned for Virginia in July. So if you're anywhere near Fredericksburg, Virginia in July, we'll be announcing that soon. And I think we have Tennessee and a couple of other areas that we're planning before
Philly is on the spot, but Philly going to be on the spot.
Go ahead and put Philly's name on.
Come on.
Philly going to be on the spot.
All right.
Listen,
And
I see the
so,
book. I got the sneak peek of it, and it's very, very detailed. Very detailed. So I'm so excited about her putting out this ebook. It's so exciting, and I had the opportunity to read through everything, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that's right. Joan's been able to peep it out.
Yeah, I have it.
So I want you guys to be looking for that. That'll be coming out in the next month or so.
Okay.
So be ready to download it when it comes out. I'm working with
Want to get it
working
to
with getting
we want it
Huh?
we want to get it on the bestseller list.
Yes. So we'll be putting that out, but I wanted to share with you guys first so you can go ahead and start booking your events, and then we're going to start marketing all of them together, and let's just make this everybody with a cup of tea and making a difference, because the focus group piece of it is the intricate part, and it's talking about what's going on in your community, you know, because every community is different and has a different need and can respond in a different way. So this is something that we're going to be doing. So I want to say thank you again, and I appreciate you. Kim, is there anything you want to leave everyone with?
I just, it's great to see everyone again. I'm just really excited about the growth, everything that's happening. For those of you that don't know, Andre and I worked on the inaugural Tea and Pearl. So I was just kind of, I'm being an insider, just seeing how she's growing it this year and just kind of expanding this out with the ebook and now going on tour. I mean, it's just falling into place. It has to happen. So I'm excited, but I'm not surprised, because I knew this is the direction. And for you to be able to reach women at that level, this is just something that is going to, I really feel, impact women around the world that will have an opportunity to experience the Tea and Pearl gathering experience and just continue to grow that power circle. So I think, Andre, you're doing a phenomenal job. I always call you my sister. I'm so excited and proud of you. She got that face out there now, finally. So I'm excited. I am so excited for you. I'm so excited for you.
Oh, Kim, you said it. Kim said it. I didn't say it, but I'm glad. Now you went first. So I'm glad to see her face too.
That's right. That's right.
I was trying to hide. Y'all wouldn't even let me.
No, you can't.
And yes, and seeing it.
And I would never accept the hiding.
What you guys, I don't know, for those who didn't make it last year, Kim and I put it on together. Kim helped me plan through everything. We fussed and at people together and everything, but it was 4 hours. I want y'all to understand. Last year was a 4-hour event. So this year I had planned on 8 hours, and I never knew that it would turn into 20. So I just want you to know how, when Kim talks about that, how much it evolved.
Yeah.
So, Verly, what do you want to leave us with?
I would like to say that I'm just honored. And one of the pieces that I do want to give a big, big hurrah for was Queen Jones, when she was saying, "Don't box me up." Oh my God, Queen Jones. Because I often feel that way when I go somewhere. Everybody's like, "That's a domestic violence advocate." No, I'm more than that. That is a little bit of who I am. I am a warrior. I am an advocate for the community, for the world, for the nation. And being that said, on May 25th and May 26th, because I was really, really burdened here last year when I continued to hear our young people shooting and killing one another, and mothers burying their children, and children being hauled off the prison, and being a mother that had 4 sons, and all 4 of my sons have been in and out of prison and jail. I was given a vision to connect the village, not the villages, but the village. That means we are one. So on May 25th and May 26th at Johnson C. Smith University in Grimes Hall, we are going to have a Connect the Village event for 2 days. The vending cost is $50, which is for both days. If you know a mental health therapist, someone that has programs with children, someone that has programs with sex and human trafficking, anything that you know would be an asset to connecting the village, programs that help parents overcome their struggles in parenting. Our communities need conflict resolution resources. These are the things that we need. Anything that you think besides selling t-shirts. This is not the event to sell t-shirts, to sell no purses, to sell no glasses, because this is why some people can't pay their rent, because they always buying things that has no direct investment in themselves. So I am calling on my sisters, because one thing that I realized at this Tea and Pearl gathering is there is a true, genuine sisterhood camaraderie out there. So I'm calling on my sisters to keep me lifted in your prayers. And if you're able to, please support. I am looking for vendors in different areas. If you're not connected with me on Facebook, please do connect with me. If you know someone that fits these descriptions, please send them my way. We are losing too many children. It is becoming a norm for mothers now to bury their sons and daughters. It's a norm for fathers now to bury their sons and daughters. I feel that I have to take some type of action and call unity to what is tearing our communities up. And we also need, if you know the program, every time someone gets killed by the police, I get so upset because everybody wants to bash the police. But why is no one teaching our young people or anyone how to act when the police stops you or when you're approached by the police? I am someone, if they have that resource, please call me. We need to teach our people how to respond when you're stopped by the police. Stop bashing the police. I'm not saying what the police do is right, but what I am saying, we must educate ourselves. Or when the police does stop a person, How do you respond? I'm sorry, Queen Andrea, if I took too much time, but this is my passion. I am just not a person that you can put in a box. I'm a warrior and an advocate for everything that makes us all whole and makes us all fulfill our purpose.
Thank you, because all those things are needed. We definitely need to bring back our village, and I've been looking at your advertisement for that. I wish I'd be able to make it. It's graduation weekend for my daughter, and so I will not be able to make it, but I have been pushing it out because I know it's going to be an awesome thing. You and I have talked about it, and I love what you're doing with the vendors, as far as making sure there's somebody who's bringing some substance to the program and not just accessories. So I commend you for that. Katrina ran on me somewhere over there. So Dorothea, what do you want to leave them with?
I just wanted to ask Valerie, what state is that?
It's in North Carolina at the HBCU College in Charlotte, North Carolina, Johnson C. Smith at Grimes Hall. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday, Saturday morning. The title of the workshop is going to be Saving Our Sons and Daughters, and we are going to leave that floor open to hear from our youth, hear what they need, what they want, what they're missing, what's bothering them, what's hurting them. On Saturday night, it's going to be a workshop geared toward parents, community leaders, and youth leaders entitled Prescriptive Parenting. And on Sunday, it's going to be geared toward the men, but we want the women there, but the message is directly at the men, and we as the women to support them. And that is going to be something to heal the minds of our men, to let our men know what's holding them back. Some of our men are emotionally constipated. The speaker is coming out of DC, Dr. William Clay. He is dynamic. So it's going to be a weekend of events. I'm still looking for help for a lot of different areas because I'm like 4 weeks away, but I trust God. God didn't give this to me just to leave me out here. So I'm going to push it. We're expecting at least 150 children. All children are free, but they must be in school and they have to register through Eventbrite. Adults are $15 through April 23rd. April 24th through May 24th is $20 for adults. If there are any seats available on Saturday the 25th and Sunday the 26th, it'll be $25 at the door.
Okay, I'll connect later because there's some folks that might be able to assist in there down north. But we'll talk later.
I appreciate you, and if nothing else, if you can't. I know you said, Queen Andrea, you'll be out of town, but most importantly, please lift me up in prayer that I will honor God's purpose and make sure that He is proud of the work.
Absolutely.
And it will be an impact.
So, Andrea, thank you for including me. You know, I love you because you're somebody who checks in on somebody. How you doing? What's going on? You know you're doing too much. You need to stop. I mean, she's that type of person. And so I just thank her for doing that because most often, you know, people don't check in on you when we're all in go mode. I currently am pushing the idea of you may be a survivor and you may have been out for a minute, but it's time to peel back those layers and stop being comfortable where you are in the land of existence. And so I have programs, coaching programs. I have membership groups where I take the idea of, so you move from victim, now you're a survivor. There's layers that you have to peel back to get to your core. Living after domestic violence, because there is a life after domestic violence, and even just a life after trauma. Let's stop just existing. Let's stop watching Power. Let's stop watching all of this junk that we see on TV. Let's stop going to the clubs. Let's stop escaping in the external things of what we do, thinking that even, I'm going there, even ministry, we flood ourselves into the act of doing good just to escape what it is that we need to deal with. So often we, after trauma, after some sort of journey, that we feel, okay, I don't want to deal with me. I don't want to deal with the things that I need to deal with. So I'm going to do good. Even in your doing good, it's not necessarily good for you, because you can go to church and be in church or whatever ministry or whatever outreach or whatever service that you're doing 6 days a week, and you come home and you still do the same thing, and you're not addressing the things that you need to do for yourself. So I'm excited about, being connected with Andrea and this need to care for those who care for others, which is so super important. That's that self-care. So I receive women, they call and connect with me both nationally and internationally to help them get out of their intimate partner, abusive, domestic violence relationship. So I write plans for them. And I'm just now in the process of, okay, so now you're out, you've written your plan. These are the things that you need to do. These are the steps, but being accountable. So often we don't want to be accountable. We just, I'm good, I'm free, I'm out. See ya. But life says that you need a coach, a mentor. You need somebody in your ear gate, at least challenging you, not telling you what to do. Just as Andrea said, a good coach, a good mentor will never tell you what to do. If you have somebody telling you A, B, C, and D and not allowing you to think for yourself, to process that thing through,
you're back in a toxic relationship. You're back in a
I'm just saying. So, exactly. And we do that, 7 times is what the stats say. So, to prevent all of that, or try to begin to allow women to think for themselves, survivordom is just a place, a learning ground, a learning hole, a learning space to learn about you, to re-educate. Just not for those who've been in DV relationships, but just through that process of peeling back layers. So that's where I am currently right now. I have some other things going on I didn't ask for, dropped in my lap. And I ain't arguing with him anymore. I'm tired. I never win, will never win, and I'll get that through my head. So I'm super excited about, this, Andrea, because this is just going to lay ground, open ground for people such as ourselves of what it is that we do, to aha a moment, to rest a moment, to reflect, and that accountability piece. I'm so super thankful for this. I most certainly am. But I know something else every time that I'm moving towards going to an event such as yours, but something where I know that, it's going to be wonderful, it's going to...
Yeah.
He's always throwing something. Here you go, here you go, here you go.
That's okay, because we'll just stand on it and keep moving.
That's what I was getting ready to say. We're going to
stand on it. So, Katrina, before we get ready to roll out of here, anything you want to leave us with quickly, any quick notes?
Every lady really, really, really said it tonight. And, I'm very impressed. I'm very grateful for each and one of you ladies and hearing everything that you're saying. I'm a newbie and I listen to all of you. And like Dorothea said, we learn, and we also have to talk to learn too. So whatever results that I have to speak it, and I have to call it out into existence. So what I'm learning, I'm also taking out and about. I'm about love and compassion with our organization. So I want to give back just as well as I want to listen. But I want to listen and give my own lessons of what I learned by speaking my teaching. So that is what I'm about. And God is always first in my life. And that's what I'm taking with me. I can't do anything without him. So that's what I say. All ladies, I'm aboard with anything. And you know that about me, Andrea. I don't care if I'm an ambassador or whatever. I love to be there and I love to attend. I'm not a person that's high up on where I got to be in the highest position. I don't have to be at the highest position because as long as I'm listening, I'm learning and I'm taking that learning out there to someone else. So I am grateful to each and every one of you. Andrea, I love you. You are doing such a great work. I'm so excited. And girl, yes, you bringing that to my hometown of Georgia, but where I am really born from and nobody has really done anything, I want you in Washington, D.C. So I'm claiming Georgia and D.C. When you're ready, let me know. It's got to
go gas up.
Yeah. I love you. I'm so proud of you. And I'm so glad that you're out here like this. And since the day I met you, you have been such an awesome part of my life. And I thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
And last but definitely not least, Miss Joan T. Randall, what departing words would you like to leave us with?
My heart is filled with joy because sitting here and listening to everyone's dedication and their heart for those who are in situations that we once were in gives me a lot of hope. The one thing I would want to see, and I said this a little bit when I was there with you, there's so many of us in our own little niche doing our own little thing when it comes on to advocacy. And because of that, our voice isn't big and strong enough to reach the masses. What I would love to see is all of us come together as a collective body and go after this thing, getting laws changed and allowing people to hear us. Because when we're in our little niches and are doing our little thing here and there, we're not big enough to get the attention. When I look at domestic violence versus breast cancer, the same month, I see everything pink. I see no purple anywhere in the month of October. It is as if we don't exist. Why? Because anything that has to do with domestic violence is emotional. Anything that has to do with breast cancer is physical. It is a natural disaster. It's something that happens to someone. And so people are more inclined to want to help there because they don't want to talk about the emotional pain that domestic violence causes. It's too taboo and people don't want to talk about it. Sometimes men don't want to talk about it because they are abusers as well, right? And because of that, because we're not in full force doing this thing together, we are not getting the attention. So I got connected with someone in Charlotte whose name is William Wilson. William Wilson is a designer clothier. His mother was killed by his stepfather. He's a celebrity guy. He dresses celebrities. So he dresses like, some of these big name guys who are celebrities. He is doing an event in May, but he's doing a celebrity golf tournament. I connected with him last week and he's inviting me to speak at his celebrity golf tournament. This is somebody of influence. The reason why I want to connect with him, I need his voice and the voice of people that are, game changers to say, hey, I have a group of women in North Carolina who I want to partner with to talk about the changes to domestic violence. How can we get more awareness and resources? And so instead of us each having our own little niche, we're going in one big full sweep, hands holding together that as partners to make a difference. We will not get what we're looking for in these silos, these little groups. So that's why I love what Andrea is doing in terms of getting advocates together so that they can train other people to take over the role as advocates. And so that's my passion, and that's what I'm working towards. I'm writing letters to people that are celebrity, to people that play football, to people that play basketball, that can get me in the door to say, we need your voice to help us advocate for people that are dying every day because of abuse.
Amen.
Look, you done got everybody off mute. You done got everybody up. Y'all running around and trying to run
That's
around.
amazing.
I'm holding my
That
chair.
is
I'm ready to
amazing.
run around the room. Yes.
Yes.
Such a powerful, such a powerful. And May is National Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yep.
And this is something that is, I so agree with you. I so
Yes.
agree with you. It's needed.
Really do. It's very needed.
It's
In
needed.
Philadelphia, during Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, usually all of the buildings are pink. There's one building that will stay purple. And when I see that purple building, I'm like, I connected with the owner of the building. I said, so thank you so super much. But I'm knowing that domestic violence occurrence had happened in his personal life. So therefore, that's why. But all of the other buildings, everything is pink. You are so super right.
So
So
I'm going to give you one example, and then I'm not going to say anything else, Andrea. Last year, I did a conference here in Charlotte, and I went to Lexus to ask them to sponsor the conference. And when I went and I spoke to him about what my conference was about, he decided that he was going to be a, what do you call them?
sponsor.
A sponsor, right?
Mhm.
But he was going to sponsor in kind. So he was going to sponsor items that I can put in the swag bag. So I got Lexus keychains, I got Lexus mugs, and I got all of the stuff from Lexus. It was right around the end of September. So they were already having pink everywhere. There was pink everywhere. So I said to him, I said, Mr. Strickland, I said, what is the pink for? I knew what he was going to say. He said, oh, you know, we're geared up for Breast Cancer Month in October. I said, but what about the purple? And he said, what is purple for?
Mm.
And I said, Mr. Strickland, purple is for domestic violence. He goes, domestic violence is October? I said, yes, sir. I opened that box that he gave me with all them goodies, and everything in that box was purple. Purple Lexus mugs, purple Lexus keychains, purple everything. So obviously they had the purple stuff, but he didn't put it together. That it was in October. So he gave me all the purple stuff, and all the pink was in his shop, the showroom. That was when I said, oh my God, there is absolutely little to no awareness for this. You watch it football season, everybody wear pink sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
All the games.
You know, and like you said, the businesses too, because I remember when I worked for large corporations and they geared toward each month doing something, you know, and October was always get ready for breast cancer, Susan Coleman and da-da-da-da-da, and there's no mention.
And that's the whole thing about Susan G. Komen. It's one woman who connected with the Lauders, Estee Lauder Company.
Yeah.
Leonard Lauder. She connected with Leonard Lauder, and because Leonard Lauder owned Lancome, Clinique, MAC, Bobbi Brown, and all these cosmetics, he is an influencer. So with influence and her advocacy, that is why the Susan G. Komen is so big.
Everywhere, yeah.
It's everywhere because of the influencers that's a part of this. So who can we get to influence domestic violence? That's who I want to know. Who
That's true.
That's a chit chat we should be having.
That's the conversation we all should be having.
So all of you that have stayed on and listened to us and you've heard these ideas, I know someone out there, your wheels are turning, and you know somebody, you are somebody, you have somebody, you know, and this is one of those things, and I've seen different people out, you know, for my birthday on Facebook, I wanted to give to an organization, and it may be a little small domestic violence thing because they've used them or whatever. But if you look through the rest of their timeline, it says nothing about awareness of where these people can go, not even a hotline number.
Mm-hmm.
And so it has to be understanding that this is making such an impact. And you think about it, when I started this 5 years ago, they were saying every 15 seconds someone is being abused. It's now saying every 9 seconds someone is being abused. In 5 years, we've grown in a bad way that's continuing to happen. And you can't even scroll on Facebook or newscast and not see someone that has been abused, killed, or abused a child.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's very good.
And you know, and I want to put out before we go, domestic violence. When we talk about domestic violence, it is that power and control issue that's going on, and it's not always an intimate partner issue. It could be a father-son, mother-daughter, sister-brother. If you're in that home, and that's coming to that issue to where someone wants full control over another person.
And the legislation, they don't look at that the same way. It's unfortunate.
Well, in North Carolina, they do.
Well, I beg to differ because, like I said, here in Gaston County, I experienced just that.
Well,
same
the North Carolina law says it. I can tell you what statute, so it says it. Now, each county, each municipality may be doing something different, but the North Carolina law does recognize family home.
Right, and that's one of my biggest passions is that the domestic violence laws need to be uniform. If the state recognizes it, it should not be because your county is rural that it takes a backseat.
Right.
Gaston County has very, very high statistics in domestic violence, but they don't even have their own individual domestic violence courts.
So those are the things that we need to talk about. Those are things that we need to continue having these conversations for. That was the reason for the Tea and Pearl, so those conversations can be had in an intimate setting, so that we can not only just talk about it, because I think the time for talking is over. Yes. It's time for doing.
Yes.
So when we can have these small, intimate focus groups focused on eradicating and domestic violence, and actually the main thing is just promoting healthy relationships, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's sexual assault, whether it's child abuse. If we just work toward healthy relationships, healing ourselves so that we can have healthy communications with the next person, we don't have to divide it into domestic violence, sexual assault, child abuse, all of those things that are causing psychological, physical, and mental illness. If we focus on healing ourselves and working toward healthy relationships, we can all come together in a collaborative effort, and we don't even have to say DVSAHT. So that's my wish, that's my vision, that's my understanding. Heal thyself first. Understand who you are, whose you are, and who he is. And then I think that we can work through the rest of it. Again, thank you, ladies. I love you. You're wonderful. I look forward to working with you even more and more, asking you for more and more favors because you do so well when I do. Joan, and I guess I will be speaking to you tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Love
All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Ladies, God bless.